It's my pleasure to introduce Barbara Helland, the Associate Director of the Office of Science's Advanced Scientific Computing Research, ASCR, or OSCAR as we like to pronounce it, program. In addition to her Associate Director duties, she leads the development of the department's Exascale Computing Initiative, which delivered the first US exascale computer. She has also served as the Executive Director of the COVID-19 High Performance Computing Consortium since its March 2020 inception. Ms. Helland previously served as OSCAR's Facilities Division Director, where she was responsible for opening OSCAR's facilities to national researchers, including those in industry, through the expansion of the department's innovative and novel computational impact on theory and experiment, or the INSIGHT program. Prior to DOE, Ms. Helland developed and managed computational science educational programs at Krell Institute. She also spent 25 years at Ames Laboratory, working closely with nuclear physicists and physical chemists to develop real-time operating systems and software tools to automate experimental data collection and analysis. I should slow down so that she gets her mic on. And in the deployment and management of lab-wide computational resources. Ms. Helland received a BS in computer science and an MEd in organizational learning and human resource development from Iowa State University. In recognition for her work on the Exascale Computing Initiative and the COVID-19 High Performance Computing Consortium, Ms. Helland was named to the 2021 Agile 50 list of the world's 50 most influential people navigating disruption. So it's my pleasure to introduce Barb.
Thank you, Jeff, and welcome, fellows, to DC. I want to echo Dr. Fraser. And before I start my remarks, if you remember Dr. Fraser's first slide where she showed the NNSA org chart, where it started with the secretary and then we had the undersecretary, Dr. Ruby. Today, I have with me, she couldn't be here, but she sent a video. The Undersecretary for Science and Innovation would like to also greet you and welcome you to DC. This is Dr. Jerry Richmond. Okay.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here with you today, even if just virtually. Now, DOE's Computational Science Graduate Fellowship has welcomed nearly 600 students since its inception in 1991. And the goal has always been to attract talented students and train them to push the limits of high-performance computing for research. And this Computer Science Graduate Fellowship interdisciplinary program of study, National Laboratory Practicum Experiences, and annual program review have shaped a national community of computational leaders whose impact is hard to overstate. This program has supported more than 450 alumni in a range of disciplines: applied mathematics, chemistry, material science, astrophysics, biology, and so much more. Those involved have built productive careers in academia, industry, and at the US National Laboratories, contributing to a myriad of papers, patents, and scientific codes and software. And more than 100 current fellows are working on graduate degrees at 45 institutions across the United States. And this 2022-23 class will be the program's largest and most diverse on record. And the group represents 19 universities across the country and will learn to apply high-performance computing to research across a range of fields, including atmospheric science, condensed matter physics, quantum information, and computational neuroscience. Now, to those students, welcome. I also want to warmly welcome fellows from previous year's cohorts. I know you haven't been able to meet in person since 2019. So we're so eager to welcome you, new and current fellows, to the DOE research family, where through practicum and beyond, you might work on cutting-edge particle physics, fusion research, nuclear energy research, or on our fleet of high-performance computing systems, which are the backbone of data-intensive research and development projects across the enterprise. Now, our ability to do research depends on these systems and the reliability of the networks that connect them. Some of this open science research also lays the foundation of future discoveries that are poised to revolutionize computing itself. Now, earlier this year, DOE announced that the new Frontier supercomputer at Oak Ridge National Laboratory is the world's fastest, demonstrating 1.1 exaflops of performance. And Frontier crossing the threshold into exascale computing for the first time is indeed a stunning billion calculations per second. And at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, the National Energy Research Scientific Computing Center, NERSC, is one of the largest facilities in the world, providing computational resources and expertise for basic scientific research. More than 8,000 scientists use NERSC. This year, researchers from DOE's Princeton Plasma Physics Laboratory announced that they used NERSC to conduct simulations that showed PPPL's National Spherical Torus Experiment upgrade could be a strong candidate to become a functioning fusion energy pilot plant by 2040. Now, a skilled, specialized, and diverse workforce, combined with the country's leading research facilities, make for endless possibilities for scientific discovery. And DOE CSGF recipients, past, present, and future, will only strengthen our nation's ability and competitiveness in this arena. So I am truly honored to welcome you all to this CSGF program review and the larger DOE community. We can't wait to see what you can achieve. So thank you very much.
She is indeed a tough act to follow, but she's kind of giving you an overview of what we do in the Office of Science. We are open science for the nation. We support more than 40% of the physicists that are funded in the United States, and we have programs in high energy physics, basic energy sciences, biological and environmental research, fusion, you heard her talk about fusion science, and nuclear physics. But I want to, you saw Jeff, thank you very much for showing a picture of me. I've been involved with this program for 30 years, and so I kind of leading into David Brown's talk, want to talk about why computational science is so important to the department and to the nation. Certainly, we can trace our roots back, both in NSA and the Office of Science. My math program can trace our roots back to John van Neumann in the Manhattan Project when he had the idea, gee, I need mathematicians to explain how to really use these digital computers that are beginning to be developed. And we need to have the most advanced computational resources available to science to really make a difference. And that has kind of been the mantra for both NNSA, the ASK program, and my program, OSCAR, for the last 50 to 70 years. I think you all know why computational science is important. I think more and more we're seeing that when experiments are too expensive, dangerous, or time-consuming, or impossible, modeling the climate, I can't tell you, I can't go out and do an experiment and tell you what it's going to be like in 30 years, but I can take the data and try and understand that. And so that's why we're really focused on computational science. And combining that with exascale, and I do honestly have a slide, the next slide is on Frontier because I couldn't talk to you all without showing a slide on Frontier. But coupling it with the exascale and the exascale era, we can use what we're doing in basic science in the Office of Science and couple that with the energy of programs and discover new energy solutions for a sustainable future. And extend our knowledge of environment and the Earth systems, and develop new technologies like small modular reactors. Starting Wednesday, we have a basic research needs on for the next generation of reactors with nuclear energy. It's a partnership with Basic Energy Sciences, my program, and Fusion Energy. And then planning for the next power grid. Certainly, we have earthshots in many of these areas, and we've had a long partnership with the Office of Electricity to model the electric grid and what happens when you add renewable energy to it, and how you can make it, when we have extreme weather events come through, how we can make our grid more reliable. These are types of things that you as computational scientists will be able to help us address in the future. And just the last one, of course, we've been working, you've heard about COVID, but we have a strong partnership with the National Cancer Institute on modeling cancer and understanding new cancer treatments. I promised you the slide on Frontier. This was taken actually from the director of Oak Ridge National Laboratory. Just one thing I want to point out here is one of the things that we did the exascale initiative for was to bring the cost of energy of the machine down. And you can see that Frontier, even though it's going to be used, quite heavily for AI and other types of simulation and data analysis, it only is 15 megawatts per exaflop. And that was a concern when we started Exascale, is to see how we could bring it down and make it more energy efficient. And we want to continue doing that. But the problem is that as we go forward to make it more energy efficient, these are things that we're looking at in OSCAR, that we need your help. Certainly, we want data to be findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. But how can we do that and maintain the privacy of data? And this is what our applied math program is looking at today. Artificial intelligence and deep learning, I think, as I remember going back years and years, a number of years ago, and looking at program of studies of fellows that are probably alumni to the program, they started taking machine learning. Why is this important? It's this fellowship that's always on the leading edge of what we need to do, what we need to be focused on, especially as software becomes more complex because we're adding more and more heterogeneity to the systems. But a new thing that we've had really, I think within the last 3 or 4 years, is the fact that because we have AI, we can have smart detectors out in our experiments. And the Office of Science has a number of scientific user experiments. I think 28 is the current number. And more, we're getting requests from those user experiments, light sources and accelerators and even Large Hadron Collider in CERN, to connect those resources to our high-performance computers at Argonne, Oak Ridge, and you heard Dr. Richmond talk about NERSC as well. And how we can do that so that we can use that data coming off those experiments in your computational simulations to actually bring in more data, build digital twins, and so we want to make sure that we can we've started a project to seamlessly connect all of this. And our whole goal is to make it easier for a diverse population to use our user facilities and our computers. Which brings me to CSGF. I said this before, you are leading the edge of what we need to think about in the future. I talked about a heterogeneous computing. Right now we have GPUs. We expect in the next few years to have AI accelerators. And it won't be long before hopefully people in this group today are giving us quantum accelerators that we can connect to our computers. I have no idea what the future of computing is going to look like, but you all will have to figure that out and figure out how to use it.